Hello everyone, in this video we want to talk about the software for managing and tracking the company assets. Actually, it's just not for companies and you can use it for your own as well if you want to manage your assets, and this software is for you. So when you open this Excel file for first time, you may see a yellow ribbon here and it asks you to enable the content of the macros. Because this Excel file is developed based on the VBA macros, please enable the content. Also, you may see another ribbon which is for a security, that because you download this from our website, so please enable the content of that ribbon as well. So after you enable the content, you can use this software. So here you can see a lot of forms. The first and the main one is the asset form, which you should enter the asset information. All the information for your asset can be entered here in this form. So let me discuss about this software in general, and then we will return to this asset form later. So the next one is the staff form. So here in this form you can see all the assets that are in use with this specific employee. You just need to enter the employee ID. For example, I have a test data for this employee and I can see all the assets that are in use with this by this employee. And also you are able to simply update the employee information in this file. So for example, you can change the name, the unit and the contact info, but you are not allowed to change the employee ID. So what should you do? When you press the enter button here in this form, or you press the update button in the other forms, all the data will be placed in the tables that are defined in this Excel. So for example, in the asset sheet, you can see a table that holds all the data related to the assets. And in the next one, you can see all the insurance ID that are related to each asset. So there is a multiple insurance IDs. And also the warranty and the repairs that we will talk about these later, and the maintenance. And also in the settings we have other table as well. In this setting, for example, all the information about the employee, about the supplier, and about the utilization center, the insurance company, the companies that generate the insurance for assets, and the warranty companies information, and the repair information, and also the maintainer information. So all information about the persons and the companies that are related to our assets are held here. So you can simply edit those information here as well. So for example, in the employee form, I told you that you can change all the information about the one specific employee, but you cannot change the ID because the ID is the unique for each employee. But for example, you mistakenly enter a wrong ID, you have to go to the setting sheet and then update the employee ID manually here. So this is the case for the supplier name. It should be unique when you enter the suppliers. If you enter a supplier name mistakenly, you have to change it by your hand manually. But all other the information can be updated via forms. So this is how the Excel actually works. We enter the data in the asset form. All the data can be entered here, and then we manage the specific data by these forms. For example, employees, maintainers, utilization center, insurance form, and warranty, repairs, and suppliers. And we can see, for example, which asset are purchased from one specific supplier. So I think I have a test data for company A. If I enter the company name here and then press the enter button in the keyboard, I can see the supplier information and all the assets I purchased from this specific supplier with their invoice number, purchase, and the purchase date. So let's get back to the asset form and see how we can work with this form in the detail. First of all, you should note that all the text here and all the text in the tables and the forms, all these headers, all these text, and all these header text as well as the all text here can be changed by you, and you can have your own text. So for example, right now I do not like the employee's ID here. I want to have person ID. So I can simply change it to the person ID. If you change something here, it is wise to change these texts in the relative form. So for example, you have to change it this employee ID to the person ID, and also in the assets you have employee ID as well. You need to change this to the person ID. It do not affect the software if you do not change the employee ID in this table, but it is wise to do that because you have person ID in your asset form and you should have the person ID in your table as well. So this is how you can change the texts. Let me get back to the employee ID. Okay, so as you can see, there are three main buttons in this form: the clear, refresh, and the tick button. The clear button will clear the form and make it an empty form, so you are able to enter a new assets. So for example, let's add the asset 12333. These are the test data, and the purchase date, which for example today is day 9 of month 6, year 2020. Also, if you sometimes see this form is out of shape and is out of your one page, you can change it to the normal view and see the form in this view, which will work more easily and faster. So I have it in this view because it's a little bit more beautiful, and also when you print this form, it is how it take the prints in the A4 paper. So this is the purchase date. The status, I have some status here, and as you can see, you can select one of these status. However, if you want to change these status to something you want to have, you can simply go to the setting, and in the first one you can change these texts. Also, you can add something or you can remove something by selecting this row of table and then right click on it and delete the table rows. So when you add some texts to this table, you have to go to the asset form, and here in the data tab, in the data validation, update the range. So right now the range is E2 to E6. If you add something, you have to change it to the E7. So remember that. So I have to specify the status of my asset. So right now, for example, it is in use, and I have to specify when this specific status start date is. So for example, today after now, it's 11 month 6 of year 2020. And the title of your asset is the description of your product that you are using. So for example, I bought a chair, a simple chair, for example, for one of my employees. I bought that. For example, let's name that as a chair A, and the specification of this chair. So for example, it's a simple office chair. Also, you are able to write as long as you want in this specification. So you can describe this is a simple office chair with the red color and with the black handles, and also other things that you want to. For chairs or something that are not so expensive, you may not need to write a lot of specification. And also, after you define these, you can define the purchase information. So for example, the invoice number, the supplier name. I have already a company name as a supplier. I can select the company A. Or for example, I bought this chair from another company, so I write a new name, and when I write the new name, I can see the contact number, email address, and the notes are become empty. So now I can write the information for this new company I want to work with. So for example, the contact number, the email of this company, for example, bb@bb.com, and the address, some test address for example, and some test for notes. The note is something that maybe be useful for you for the future purchases. So for example, if you are satisfied with the services of this supplier, you can say this is a good supplier, or this is our long-term supplier. Or if you are not satisfied with services, you can write something bad. I do not like this supplier, I will not buy from him anymore, or something you want to. So this is how you enter the new suppliers. When you add this asset, when you press on this tick button, this new company will be added to your list automatically. So you do not need to do anything when you add some new company or employee or some person. All of those new peoples or companies will be added into the tables automatically when you press on the tick button. So now for the insurance. You should remember that we can have multiple insurance for one asset. For example, for the expensive assets, we may have 2 or 3 or more insurances. So the first thing is you need to enter the insurance number, which should be unique for each insurances. And the validity date is the date that this insurance will be valid until that date. For example, 1 year insurance will be from day 9, month 6, and the year 2021. And the title of this insurance, for example, it can be for the incident, and you can describe this title incidents insurance, for example, all kind of incidents, or for example just for the fire incidents, and also and all other things that you have to specify. For example, it can be said this specific insurance will not include the fire, and all other things that you think is useful to write. So I leave it to you. And the company who issued this insurance. So for example, I have right now a company A2. I can select this company if I have I have this company on my list, or I wanna add a new company. So I just write the name, the contact info, the contact number, which can be the phone number, and the email address. So it can be aa@sony.com, and the address. If you want to have more insurance, first need to submit this data with the tick button, and then you can add the insurance by using these buttons. We will get back to these buttons after we submit this new asset code. So the warranty number is exactly the same with the insurance, just the warranty. So you need to, for example, enter the warranty number, which is unique for each warranty and for each asset. And the validity date is the date that this warranty is valid until that date. So for example, it's 1 year warranty, And the title, so for example the test title, I add the test title, and the company, so I can select a company A3 for example. And the repair center is a center that can repair these specific asset. It may not be the warranty company, so this is the other repair center that can repair my asset, but it may not warranty my asset, so it's need to be added in this place. So I can select the company that repair things, or I can add a company. So let's select that right now. Also, if you have a long list of the companies and you do not want to select that because it may go up until the end and you need to search for that, you can simply just write the company name. So for example, here I just want to write company A4. And when I write that and press the enter button, I can see the details of this company or repair center is shown here. So this is the repair center. And then in the asset utilization, you have to define the center, the site, the place that you are using this asset, as well as the person who use or responsible for this asset. There is just one person who can be responsible for this asset, so you cannot define multiple persons for one asset to be responsible or to be in charge. But if you want to define multiple persons who do the periodical maintenance or do care about the asset, you can define those persons here in the periodical maintenance. So we start with the center, the utilization center. Right now I have, for example, main building as the utilization center, or I can define another utilization center. Let's select this main building, and in the center contact number you just need to define the phone number, for example, and the environment of this center, this site. So for example, right now the main building has the regular office conditions, but some asset may be in the outside of the buildings, or maybe in the sites or manufacture center, or some places that have some not regular conditions. So you can write those conditions of that site here. And also the center address and the environment condition, so you can define the environment that need to be prepared for these specific assets. So for example, I can write keep it dry for my chair, but for example, you have a server, you need to have the cool place for that server. So if you want to place that server in the manufacturing sites, you need to prepare a cool and dry place for that computer server. So this is where you can define those conditions. And the employee ID, as I told you, this is a person who is in charge of using or having or utilizing asset. So for example, I have someone with the employee ID 1122, I guess. Yeah. This is the predefined employee ID. If I want, I can just place a new employee ID. So if you enter a new employee ID, you just need to enter the information related to name, the unit where this person is working there, marketing for example, and the contact info. The contact info can hold the phone number of this person as well as the email address for this person, or other things that you want to have as the contact information of this person. So you just need to add those information here. If this ID be the new ID, it will be added into the employee table. But if you have a person that previously added to that table And if you enter that person ID here, it will automatically write these data for you in these places, so you do not need to write the duplicated texts. And the responsibility date is the date that this asset give it to this person. So this is the date that this person start using or start being in charge of this asset. So you can add it, for example, the day 11 month 9 year 2020. And the condition at the responsibility date is the condition of your asset when you give it to your employee. So for example, this is the new item I give to my employee. I can write it this new item, for example. But for the asset that previously being used with the other person, we can say that this item have some crash, or it's not new or something like that. And the note is the thing that you want to describe for your person. For example, I give the warranty and the insurance paper to my employee, for example, or other thing that you want to. And the last thing is the periodical maintenance. So as you know, most of the assets need periodical maintenance. Also, some assets have more than one, two, or have multiple periodical maintenance. So I can write those maintenance and add all of maintenance here, as well as the person who do these maintenance for me. So for example, the operation can be cleaning, and the period is the periodical time. For example, day, I need to do this operation every 180 days. And the operation description, for example, I need to open all of the item of this asset and then clean them. And you can have more technical description for doing this periodical maintenance. So I leave it as a test text. And the last thing is the person or the company who do these maintenance. So the maintainer is a person who is in charge for do these maintaining operation. Each operation can have a different maintainer, and also the maintainer can be the employee, or can be the another company that you have contract with, or can be another person in your organization, or can be another individual you have contract with. So you just need to simply enter the maintainer ID. If you have previously defined such maintainer, his name and contact information will be placed here. But if you define a new maintainer, these will be empty, and you can write the data for this maintainer. After you entered all data related to your asset, you just simply need to press this tick button, and you can see the done message here, and all your data will be placed in these tables. So for example, all the data related to the asset will be placed in the asset table. All the data related to the insurance will be placed here, and the warranty data and the repairs companies. So for example, this company can repair these different assets. And the maintenance operation, all the operations will be added here. And in the setting, as I told you, we have the company and the person's information table. So the data is added. The next thing is, for example, I want to update the previously defined asset, or I just want to take a look at the previously defined asset. So I can use the refresh button here. So if I want to take a look at the previously defined asset, I just simply need to enter its code, and then I need to press on the refresh button. And after you see the done message, you will see the data related to this asset, this specific asset. and you can update all the things you wanted for this asset. For example, I want to change the name to the PCAAA, and then if I press on the tick button, the data related to this asset will be updated. So for example, let me enter another code. Okay, and now I wanna re-enter and see the previously changed asset, so I can see its name is updated. And the other thing is adding or removing or seeing insurances. So for example, I wanna add another insurance for this asset, for example with the code 222, and the validity date of, for example, next year, and the insurance name is changed, for example, to this, and the note is changed to this, and I want to have a new company who issued this, for example, insurance, with the contact number, this, and the email address and the address. So if I press on this plus button, this new insurance will be added to the insurance table. So if you go to the insurance table, you can see this new item is added, and also you are able to navigate to the previously defined insurances, so you can see all insurances for this specific asset in this sheet as well. So this is the same thing for warranty or the repair center or the periodical maintenance. You can add something, you can remove something, and you can navigate it through all the items here in this file. And the last thing is, when you want to use this Excel file, you need to remove all these data at first. So press this remove button in the setting. And also, if you want to have a backup from this Excel file, you just simply need to copy this file or saving as another Excel file. So just save or copy this Excel file as a backup. It's okay, you can have multiple Excel files from this Excel. So if you press on the remove all data and then press yes button, all data in this Excel file will be deleted, and you can define your own data. Also, you need to define your own status, because the status will be deleted as well, and you do not have any status right now. So thanks for watching this video. I hope this software helped you a lot. Until next, goodbye. In order to watch more training videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diaco Ltd. And if you want to see our products, please visit our website, diaco.co.uk.